That's my view. So I've always had my suspicions about Darwinism. But Darwinism explains so little. It doesn't explain how life began. It doesn't explain how gravity works to keep the planets in their orbits. It doesn't explain how thermodynamics works. It doesn't explain how physics or the laws of motion work. And, you know, I saw that scientist you had up on the TV before I came on, who said it's been tested and retested. Yeah. No one has ever observed the evolution of a single mammalian species. They've observed evolution within species, but a new species, no one's ever been able to observe that or find fossil record of it.
Well, why do they try to suppress it? And that was the theme of your movie, Expelled, that this one man was expelled from a teaching
position. More than one.
Yeah.
Dozens and dozens have been expelled or lost their grants or been humiliated for even mentioning the possibility that there could be an intelligent designer in the universe who created the universe and created the heavens and the earth. And I think people want to suppress the idea of an intelligent designer, whom I call the intelligent designer God, because they think if there's a God, I'm going to be held morally accountable. If there's no God, if it all happens by accident, random mutation, and natural selection, I'm not responsible. I'm just a creature of my genes. But if there's a God, I'm morally responsible. I'm in deep trouble here.
But this is pervasive, and what that movie showed, pervasive right across the academia.
Oh, very pervasive. If you were to stand up, if you were, say, an assistant professor at Harvard, and you stood up and said, you know, we have no evidence for how life began, a perfectly reasonable hypothesis is that there is an intelligent designer who always was and always will be, and he created life, you would be out of there on your ear so fast it would be insane. If you were on a Ford Foundation grant and you said, we don't know how the planets stay in their orbits, we don't know how light beams began, we don't know how energy began, we don't know how matter began, a perfectly reasonable hypothesis is there's an intelligent designer, you'd lose your grant like that.
Well, why? There is, you know, they said, well, we see that scientists created some test tubes and they put some amino acids and they played electricity on it, and therefore we had some primitive cells. But they didn't get it. They had no life at all. Yeah.
See, Darwin never hypothesized about how life began. And he said maybe, possibly there are organic elements and lightning struck them. That was the only thing he ever said, and that was in a letter to someone. But people have run electricity through every kind of inorganic compound you can mention, and they never get life from it. Never, ever, ever. So that doesn't work. Life didn't come from a mud puddle. Life came, it seems fairly clear to me, from an intelligent designer.
Sure.
But I'm willing to agree. I could be wrong. I'm often wrong. I'm very often wrong. But give us free speech. Give us free speech. Don't fire us because we question a doctrine that doesn't even mention it. I mean, Darwin didn't mention astronomy. Darwin didn't mention physics. Why can't we question whether Darwinism accounts for those things too?
You can't be a true scientist unless you do.
You have to try to disprove your own theory if you're a real scientist.
Yeah. Well, I hope this movie takes hold. You did a great job. Is it available in movies now?
It's going to be out on 1,000 screens April 18th.
April 18th.
Yes.
And the movie is called
It's called Expelled, No Intelligence Allowed.
Expelled, No Intelligence. That says it all. Man, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's an honor being here. I love your